Greetings, Lord, ladies, and everything in between. Today, let's talk about Star Wars Battlefront 3. More specifically, let's talk about the Queen of Naboo turned Senator in the oddest promotion in the galaxy. The woman who could survive this jump onto a Reek's back and the Blue Shadow virus, but can't survive a broken heart. Padme Amidala, along with one of the most ruthless and aggressive bounty hunters with a literal communicator surgically implanted into her brain. The same woman who nearly incurred the wrath of Anakin Skywalker, the Force-sensitive Pildovian, Aurra. Starting off with Padme, her base health will be set at 650. She'll have a max jump of 2 meters. She will be able to perform 3 dodges, and her weapon will be the ELG-3A blaster pistol. The damage of this weapon will start at 45 damage per hit and drop off to 38 damage. The drop off will start at 25 meters and the end of drop off will be 50 meters. The rate of fire will be set at 350 RPM, and overheating on this blaster will incur in 20 shots. Now on to abilities, and for Padme's first ability, I have Bacta packs. As we know, Padme did want to avoid the war and conflict, so I think this matches her quite well. And for this will basically allow her to throw a Bacta pack that will heal herself and allies around her in a 4.5 meter radius. The healing effect of the Bacta will last for 6 seconds, with health restoration happening each second. On non-hero characters, they will recover 65 health points for each second, and on hero characters it will be 95 health points restored. Padme will be able to use this ability twice, and similar to her daughter, the cooldown won't start until both packs have been thrown. The cooldown for one pack will be 12 seconds, so 24 in total, and this is to ensure that the only way to eliminate Padme isn't by breaking her heart and going down a path that she cannot follow. Yeah, this kind of prevents from having an unkillable mode, and I know this is quite a harsh cooldown, but again, if you can just keep on healing and you have to worry about 6 seconds, you ain't gonna worry. You're just gonna keep throwing them and not really have much regard for when you do. So this way it is much more fair and is much more challenging to the player playing Padme. The second ability I have will be a blaster switch. This will be when Padme switches from her blaster pistol to an E5 blaster rifle, otherwise known as the droid blaster. And I didn't actually know that she was part commando droid. I mean, seriously, she is using that thing like a blaster pistol, like a Rowan in the arena. Seriously, how much arm strength does that woman have? I think she was running on pure adrenaline, given the fact, again, she somehow did not have any form of damage from that jump onto a Reek. Seriously, how high was that pole? The blaster will do 75 damage points per hit and then drop down to 66. The drop off will start at 45 meters and end at 60. The blaster will be able to do 22 shots before having to go on cooldown, and the cooldown of this ability will be 32 seconds. This is kind of a bit different to a daughter who kind of goes into a rapid fire mode. You'll have to use a lot more precision with Padme, but you get a lot more range with this blaster. I mean, again, she's getting some serious shots with that thing on Rhodia. And for a third and final ability, I have Handmaiden Disguise. This is when Padme will summon 2 other handmaidens that I believe could either default to wearing the exact same outfit as Padme, or the player can select skins based upon skins that they have unlocked on Padme, and boy, there is a lot. The handmaidens will be bot controlled, so it wouldn't work like in the Star Wars Battlefront forum with the Royal Guards. They would be controlled by the AI of the game. Don't worry, not generative AI. It actually has a purpose. The handmaidens themselves will have 350 health. They will also use the same blaster as Padme, same damage output, but they will only have 10 shots before it goes in to overheat and needs to reload. So there are a couple hints that they are the handmaidens, but you have to be paying very close attention. For instance, we know that Sabe does have a very similar face to Padme, but it is different, so you have to pay a lot of attention when you're on the Separatists to find them. I am debating actually giving them abilities, but one I do think they should have would possibly be a thermal detonator. It will do the damage that the improved thermal detonator does for the assault class. Other ones, I'll let you guys decide in the comment section down below if you think they should have abilities, but for this I'm just going to kind of go through this if they don't. Now, this ability will also hide the health of Padme and the player name while it is active, so again, it is still pretty hard for people on the Separatists to find Padme. Visibility will go on cooldown when both of the handmaidens have been eliminated, and the cooldown will be set to 21 seconds. And just saying this, I probably worked this out already, but if Padme is eliminated, both of the handmaidens will also be eliminated. They'll kind of put their hands up and surrender and despawn because Padme is no longer there, so they can no longer serve their queen. Foreskins, boy, Padme has quite a few. For a first skin and a default, I think it should be the one from the Malevolence arc. Some of the reason I very closely associate this one with Padme, and I think a lot of people who watch Clone Wars do, probably more than the outfit she more commonly wears in the film. So yeah, I think the Malevolence arc looks a bit more combat ready, so I think it should be her default. The next one I think will be her Queen of Naboo. One would be her throne room gown with extension cable included to get those lights lit up. Only $9.99. And the travelling variant of this gown. Next would be her handmaiden disguise, the orange robes that she wore in the Phantom Menace, which also fooled the Jedi. Her Tatooine disguise. Then there'll be her Senate gown from the first film, with and without cloak. Again, sold separately. Her Separatist shroud, hood up and down. Her white action attire, which I believe is the one she wore on Geonosis. Her senatorial garb. Her senator battle dress, her black corset, or as other people lovingly call her, Padme, her pilot disguise, which she wore in episode 2, her high court outfit, her red senate dress, and finally, her hazmat suit. Yes, there are many more, but I'm limited to this, because otherwise we'll be here for the next hour of me listing dresses Padme can wear. Jeez, this woman wears quite a few. I think she might be royalty or something. She may have some money.
No, I call it aggressive negotiations.
Annie, how about the next time you rescue me before you kill all the battle droids?
Have you ever considered that we may be on the wrong side?
What if the democracy we thought we were serving no longer exists? And the Republic has become the very evil we've been fighting to destroy?
I will not defer. I've come before you to resolve this attack on our sovereignty now.
We're resourceful. Now, why are you breaking into my quarters?
I was not elected to watch my people suffer and die while you discuss this invasion in a committee.
Ever since I've known you, you've been playing with droids.
Breaking my heart. You're going down a path I can't follow.
I still can't believe they let you teach. The only thing I find unpatriotic is your warmongering.
So this is how liberty dies. With thunderous applause.
Now moving off Padme into her would-be assassin if Ahsoka wasn't there, Aurra Singh. Aurra's base health will be set at 600, her max regen will match Padme's at 200, max jump 2 meters, although I think it could be kind of cool if she could get a little boost as she is force sensitive, so maybe could go to 5 meters instead. She'll have 3 dodges and her weapon will be one of her DX-13 blaster pistols. The damage of these pistols will start at 35 damage per hit and drop off to 28. The drop off will start at 20 meters and end at 40. The rate of fire of this blaster pistol will be 400 RPM and the overheating will occur in 26 shots. For Aurra's first ability, I have Scrambler. This will allow her to use the Ren Orm module in her head to hide her location from other players on the map, similar to the infantry class, and enemy blasters in a 25 meter radius will become disabled and kind of have that electric stun thing they have in the game. The disabling effects will last for 5 seconds and her location will remain hidden for 22 seconds. The cooldown of this ability will be 27 seconds, so pretty good if you want to hide and also good if you're in a tight pinch. For her second ability, I have dual rapid fire. This is when Aurra will pull out her second blaster pistol and this will double the damage and fire rate of her blasters. We see her use this quite effectively against Ahsoka and Plo Koon. Well, at least a table for the Plo Koon. Weird how Ahsoka's in both scenes when she does this. Then after, she will basically unleash a very quick burst each time the player presses the fire button. You wouldn't basically like to fire just 2 shots, you would do a very quick burst each time. And then if you hold it, she basically becomes like the heavy classes ability sentry mode, where you just unleash a absolute barrage of blaster bullets. And of course, she fires for however long you hold down the fire button for. This ability will last either until both blasters are overheated. As I said, you get double the amount of shots, so you get a total of 52, or will last for 27 seconds after the first burst of shots. And the cooldown of this ability will be 18 seconds. I know a lot less from from a scrambler, but I feel like this is again something that you kind of need more often, so I feel like that's pretty fair. And for a final ability, I have the weapon she was going to use against Padme, Snipe Shot. This is basically where Aurra will switch her blaster again to her Adventurer Slug Thrower Rifle. Now, since this is a slug thrower, it actually fires solid projectiles rather than the laser bolts that most weapons of Star Wars use, so the damage won't have a drop off. So the damage is a flat out 205 on non-heroes, and on heroes it is 155. The rate of fire is 95 RPM, so pretty slow. I think just faster than the most powerful weapon in the specialist class. The range of this, as I said earlier, is pretty much infinite. It won't have a drop off, and the rifle will get 5 shots before the ability goes on cooldown. Again, you can pretty much wipe out most heroes, although I think it could be cool if lightsaber characters couldn't block this fully. If they still took chip damage, even if they block the initial bolt, it'll still turn into lava on the other side and burn the lightsaber character. I think it could be quite interesting. So you actually have to dodge as a lightsaber character, so Aurra is always a threat if she pulls this out at close or at long range, and the cooldown will last for 22 seconds. Her skins, compared to Padme, she has a lot less at 2. We have her default orange jumpsuit, pretty much one thing she's well known for. And her second is her assassination skin, where she wears all black, which she wore an Alderaan, funnily enough. That planet very quickly became all black, not too many years later.
Well, a girl's gotta make a living. Don't count on it. The Jedi don't carry grudges. When I hired you, I didn't realize that you were such a coward. Honey, this isn't about your cause. This is about revenge. Bad move, Jedi. This will cost you. Tie your little pet up. We'll bring him to Bane. Next time I tell you to pull the trigger, you do it. Enough talk. Time to see what you're made of, kid. I am prepared to kill you, the hostages, whatever it takes to get what Boba wants.
Moving on to the planets and maps I would add with these two characters. The first would be the Subjugator class heavy cruiser, otherwise known as the Malevolence. And in my opinion, the iron weapon and sheer size of this vessel will make it unique compared to the Dreadnought on Capital Supremacy. Now, the way I could see this map working would be you start off in a starfighter mode, trying to get Y-wings close enough to the iron weapon to disable it. Then the Republic will have to go into the Malevolence through hangar bays in order to save hostages, and then reroute the ship into the Dead Moon. Now, these two objectives will be played out as the last two, and in order to get there you would have to use the train system within the ship. And I do believe the train system could add a very odd bit of peril, as you could fall off the train into the unknown abyss of the Malevolence, enemies could show up on other tracks, and the Republic will have to split up their forces. As I said, there are 2 remaining objectives, and I would like to see them play out simultaneously. And I guess hostages could also be Padme herself, like it was in the Ark, and once you've saved her you unlock her for the rest of the game mode. And while on the train you do have to worry about the Separatists attempting to destroy the train before it gets to even one of their locations, so maybe if you get off the plane and platform early you could actually save yourself ironically, while other people try and stay on the train itself to make sure it doesn't get destroyed. It has a certain health pool. This ship has quite a high potential to be a really fun and engaging map. The second planet I have is Rhodia. To be fair, to get to play in the glass dome city surrounded by swamplands and on top of the water system with grates apparently would be cool to play in some form of tower defense, where we see Padme do her really impressive gymnastics and droid taking out skills. It also would be cool for the wildlife to play a role on this map. For example, I was saying this right, Quessel Moor could shoot up from the ground at random intervals when that bit of ground gets shot too many times, and that could be quite a unique way to kind of use wildlife to your advantage. If you have a high group of enemies somewhere, shoot the ground a couple of times underneath them, giant slug pops up and saves you. Imagine that getting slugged in the game and not by a slug thrower. Exploding as our third planet, next I have Alderaan. This, in my opinion, would just have to be a heroes and villains map, as we ironically don't explore it that much. Not really sure why, I mean it's still there, right? But let's say introduce a new game mode where you have to build and defend a giant mirror to bounce back a shot or two. Get your snowboards and sledges out for our fourth planet, that being Scipio, and that could be a whole new game mode of itself, where you have to sledge down like a snow-covered cliff while another player chases you. That could be so much fun. Just, again, amazing to play that and trying to escape them. Just cool and fun. But to be honest, we all want to live our own Commander Thorn moment. Probably the only member of the Coruscant Guard that the fans unilaterally love. Yeah, not being sly with that comment. Fox! This next planet might surprise a couple of you, but I would add Florin with these two, as Aurra did go to this planet during the Clone Wars, and if you go back to the first video, I mean, I don't know why you don't have to, but it does give you pretty much every character I'm going to talk about in this, and it's just a really well made video, you know. You should just check it out after, go ahead. I never mentioned the character that was more strongly associated with this planet, mainly because we really aren't able to pick what side he would be on, as he alternates too much for that.
What an accusation! I am gone! I will send you my bill.
And kind of a basic hero of villains. I think he just needs his own series, own game. You could get another pirate to play him. I don't know, it just could be a little bit cool. Furthermore, playing through this pirate stronghold would be interesting, and they could add so many secret rooms and secret paths. Just a lot of fun. So yeah, add Thrawn, please. And the final planet would be Naboo. I know this is already in the game, but that's only feed, and there are way many more maps that they can add because this planet is quite well explored. One would be the underwater city, as the water could add a pretty good environmental hazard, as you could force a room to flood and then see how many players you can eliminate with that, just adding a very cool environmental hazard. That'd be so much fun for the underwater city alone, and just the environment. You don't have to worry too much about water effects either, because you're under it, so it's kind of a background feature. So yeah, that would be cool to play in. The second location would be the plains, where the Separatists have to destroy a series of shield generators, whilst Naboo starfighters try to destroy the Lucahawk class battleship above the planet. Again, making this up that the clones would be there instead of the Gungans, but I think people again will accept that. And the final map I would add would be the lab where Dr. Nuvo Vendi remakes the Blue Shadow virus into its airborne strand. I could see the lab having two game modes, one being where the Republic infiltrates the lab in order to apprehend the Mad Doctor before he unleashes the virus, and the second would be after the virus has been unleashed in the lab, a small number of clones with the heroes having a limited options of Rex, Ahsoka and Padme, having to prevent a series of droids from opening hatches throughout the lab, unleashing the virus across the planet. Again, those two game modes could be cool, and just so many more options for Naboo, not just feed. And a very smaller but more action-packed game mode. A lot of fun in my opinion. You could make it into a few more scenarios, like the Black Wing virus from Death Trooper book. Honestly, that could be so creepy and cool. I think some people would generally love it if you made that a game mode at any point. I'm not sure what you're doing for the First Order period, but sure, they can just make something up. And with that, that covers it. Do you guys agree with my opinion on these two characters, or would you change something about these two characters' abilities, or even outfits? Again, Padme has a long list. Have fun, knock yourself out. Let me know in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, if you think I deserve it, leave a like on this video. And if you want to hear from me again and continue this series through Star Wars Battlefront 3, subscribe to the channel. And with that, goodbye.